My name is Uday Suren, A20A2056. I'm from Group 14 and this presentation is about our case study from AFT1093.
So, this is our group members.
I'm here to present about question 1, A and B. 1A. By using the business cycle diagram, illustrate the phase of Malaysian economic situation. Based on a diagram, the phase of Malaysian economic situation is the trough phase, also known as the depression stage. Next, 1B. Briefly explain about that phase, which is the trough phase. During a trough phase, the economic growth rate goes negative. The price factors, as well as the demand and supply of products and services, will continue to fall until they hit their lowest point. Then, economy would eventually hit a low point. It also could said to be the economy's negative saturation point. Through this stage, the national income and spending have both would have been depleted to a large extent. Higher unemployments, layoffs, decreased firm sales, and profitability are limited availability are the characteristics of the trough phase. After the trough phase is over, recovery and the expansion stage will begin. I was able to identify the trough phase with a few points from the article, such as unemployment rate indicates the increase in the value. Most economic sectors registered negative growth, while most expenditure components declined. And Bank Nagara said there was a marked decline in tourism activity due to international border closure and restricted interstate travel. Thank you. Now, I would like to pass on the presentation to Wan Nur Zulaidah bin T1 Haslan.
The first question for question 1C is state one economic policy that government should implement. The answer for this question is one economic policy that government should implement is monetary policy. The second question in question 1C is briefly explain the role of suggested economic policy. The answer for this question would be by changing the interest rates and the money supply, it can influence the demand and supply for money. The central bank is the one that is usually managing the policy despite the governments having an oversight and might set an inflation target. Expansionary monetary policy help in cutting the interest rates, in making borrowing cheaper, and help in boosting the spending. It is to aim in increasing the rate of the economic growth, since it works by lowering the short-term interest rates or expand the money supply faster than it usually is. For example, when the benchmark federal funds rate is lowered, it will decrease the cost of borrowing from the central bank and giving the banks a greater access to the cash that can be lent to the market. It will also allow the banks to lend a higher proportion of their capital when the reserve requirements decline to consumers and businesses. It also injects capital directly into the economy when the debt instruments were purchased by the central bank.
Thanks, Zulaiha, for your explanation just now. So, before that, let me introduce myself first. My name is Nahazika binti Abdullah. My matrix number is A20A175. I will explain about question 2A and B. So, for the first question, which is 1 Roman, A1 Roman, we have to find the value of tax. To find this, we have to use formula C equal to A plus B y D. For the first, we have to find B. To find B, we have to use formula change in consumption per change in total income, and when we total that, we get 0.75, and then we can put with that formula where C is 2,500, A is 1,000, and BYD we have to put the number of we calculate, that is 0.75 YG, and the final answer is RM 1,000 billion. So for the second question, we have to find the consumption function, and we have to use formula C equal to A plus BYD, where C is 2,500, B is 0.75 that we total at the question number 1. YT is income at the table that given to us, which is RM 2,000, and we have to find A. So when we total that, we got the answer is C equal to 1,000 plus 0.75 YG. So for this question, which is 3 Roman, we have to find saving function. To find this, we must use formula S equal to negative A plus 1 minus B YG, where negative A is negative 1,000, and B is 0.75. So for the final answer is S equal to negative 1,000 plus 0.25 YG. So for this question 2b, we have to find the equilibrium of national income using 1 Roman aggregate demand and aggregate supply approach. So we have to use formula Y equal to C plus I plus G, where C is 1,000 plus 0.75 YG, I is 1,000, G is also 1,000. We also have to put T, that which is also 1,000, and the final answer is RM 9,000 billion. For 2 Roman, we have using leakage and injection approach. So the formula is I plus G equal to S plus T, where I is 1,000, G is also 1,000, S is negative 1,000 plus 0.25 YT, and T is 1,000. And the final answer is RM 9,000 billion. So I will pass the next question to my friend Aida.
Thank you, Hazika. Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nur Maliana Aida binti Rosmizam, and my metric number is 820A1758. Okay, question C I Roman. Based on the above statement, find new equilibrium of national income. Based on the article statement, we found that there have a new value for the investment, export, and the government. So the new value for the investment is 950 billion ringgit Malaysia, export with 1050 billion ringgit Malaysia, and the government with 1010 billion ringgit Malaysia. To find the new equilibrium of national income, we use Y equal to C plus I plus T plus X minus M formula. So the final value we get is 130.0 billion ringgit Malaysia. So for the next question, second Roman, if the full employment is 5,800 billion ringgit Malaysia, does Malaysia facing the economic problem? So using a graph and suggest policy that government should implement. Based on this graph, E0 is the equilibrium point of national income reached when Y equal to AD at national income of 13040 billion ringgit Malaysia. When full employment of 5,800 billion ringgit Malaysia is less than the original national income of 13040 billion ringgit Malaysia, then the aggregate demand curve C plus I plus D plus X minus M will shift downwards and reach a new equilibrium point at B on the curve C plus I plus D plus X minus M FE. This can cause Malaysia to experience economic problem. Therefore, there is an increase in the inflation gap from point A to point B. This requires the government to reduce expenditure or increase the tax at point A to B. The policy proposal that the government needs to implement is a contractionary fiscal policy to close the point A-B inflation gap. So that's all from me. I will pass for the next question to Irda.
Thanks, Aida. I will continue the explanation for question 2D, that is to discuss the effect of the situation given in the text on the equilibrium of GDP. Before that, I will introduce myself. My name is Irda Farahida binti Muhammad Isham, and my matrix number is A20A1740. Okay, let's continue. In this question, we need to using the aggregate demand and aggregate supply curve. You can see the curve on the left of the slide. The original equilibrium occurred when the curve AD1 intersect the curve AS at point E0 at the price of P1 and the real GDP Y1. When the government lowered interest rate from 4.8% in the fourth quarter of 2019 to 3.75% in the fourth quarter of 2020, the labor market, household spending, and trade activity are increased. This caused an increase in demand from AD1 to AD2. This caused the curve to shift to the right until it reached a new equilibrium point at E1. When AD increased, real GDP also increased from Y1 to Y2, and the price level also increased from P1 to P2. I think this is all from me. I will pass the next part to Shazwan. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ahmad Shazwan Izzuddin bin Abdullah, and my matric number is A20A1243. So we go to question 3. This is the last question for our case study. The question is, discuss Malaysia economic condition if the situation twin deficit stated in the paragraph is happened. Give the best solution to the above situation. Now we are go to the answer. The answer is, twin deficit occurs when a country has both a current account deficit and a budget deficit. The twin deficit can cause decreases in national economic prospect. The government, this is because the government have a huge debt from another country. It also causes a trade deficit. The twin deficit also cause a citizen in trouble. This is because the value of the Malaysian currency will decreases constantly. This is because importing activity is more than exporting, so a lot of our money goes out and causes leaks in economic. This is the leakage situation. A little exporting process causes little currency inflows from abroad. Then this situation causes Malaysian economic cannot increase faster than the other country. However, they still have a solution for this for this situation. The solution can take to overcome the twin deficit is increase the export of goods. Government must be increase the export of goods, and to realize this step, the government can provide the export subsidies. And the second solution is decrease the import of goods. The government can decrease the import of goods with imposed tariff and quota. The government can impose tariff and quota to decrease the import of goods. This step, tariff and quota, can increase the cost of import, and the import demand will declining because the cost of import is decreases. This will cause the trade balance improve and deficit can decreases, and also twin deficit also can be decreases. The other solution is increase the output of the import replacement industry. This step also to decline the import activities. The other solution is encourage tourism in the country. This step is to avoid a leakage, so the inflow of money in the country will be increased and cause the trade balance improve. Also, deficit can be decreases, and twin deficit also can be decreases. Then, to overcome the twin deficit, the government can encourage the use of local transportation. This step can improve the trade balance, and current account deficit can be reduced. If current account deficit decline, the twin deficit also can be decreases. So this is all from our team. Thank you.